presentation is about understanding the cosmetic patient, because the more you understand them, the more money you'll make, just saying. So I happen to write the book on it, and I want to offer you that book. If you haven't read it already, it's well worth it. It's at CatherineMaley.com/your aesthetic practice. And I wrote this book because I needed to understand the patient. I am that patient, but I wanted to know if I was thinking like them or if I'm thinking differently. And so I interviewed a whole bunch of patients, and I asked them what they liked, what they didn't, why they chose you, why they chose somebody else. So please read that book. It's well worth it. Please have your staff read it as well. That would be very helpful. So here's the difference. A patient with a credit card is thinking much, much differently than a patient with an insurance card. When it's an insurance card, there's no decision to be made. They were sent to you for a reason. The insurance is going to pay for it. So nothing is as crucial. It's all like preset. When someone's using their own credit card, all bets are off, because that person with the credit card, they have the power of choice, and they know it. They know that they can go to you or the 10 other people in your neighborhood that could probably give them an okay result. So they have these expectations when it's a credit card. They want service, they want to be treated well, they want a good result, and they want a great patient experience. So please remember that when you're in this consumer business, it's called retail medicine. I call it the fun side of medicine. So it's fun, and patients want to enjoy getting this stuff done, because nobody needs cosmetic rejuvenation, but we sure want it, don't we? And we'll pay for it. So we want to go to somebody who meets our expectations. Now, bottom line, the patient who wants to look good and feel good, they're buying hope that you can give them a good result, and hope that they're going to feel better and their life is going to be better. But they're also buying confidence. So many people have been uncomfortable about their appearance forever, for a long, long time, since they were little kids and somebody was, bullying them about it. So there's something about their appearance that bothers them. Think about how awkward that is for them to have to uncomfortably tell you, I'm uncomfortable with myself, I don't like something about me. It's a very vulnerable place to be. So the more you can show compassion and understanding and kindness and friendliness, the more they're going to choose you over somebody else. Because the ultimate goal of all of this in the whole world for all of us is to be happy. We all just want to be happy. Today, it's cosmetic rejuvenation. Tomorrow, it's a new car. The next day, it's a vacation. Who knows? But right now, they want to feel good and look good, and they're willing to pay for it so they can be happy. Yeah. Now, here's the best part of our industry. Your customers have endless needs. A patient who wants to look good today wants to look good tomorrow and next month and next year and a decade from now. So you have this endless demand of patients for decades if you just hang on to them. So think about the patient, the female patient for sure. She's got wrinkles, red and brown spots, blotchy skin, crepey skin, sagging body parts, unwanted fat pockets, and it never ends. And the beauty of us females is when we pick and choose one body part to enhance, sure enough, we just move on to the next thing that bothers us. We are just built that way. So I call this the lifetime ladder. If you would please consider patients as a lifetime, not a one time. If they will go up and down this ladder for decades, they might even start at surgery, but then they'll work their way back down because they want to fix something else, or they want to keep up their new look. So they might start at surgery and go down to lasers, injectables, skincare, or they might dip their toe by just a little skincare, a little microderm, a little micropeeling here and there, and then work their way up to surgery. So in today's world, to build a cosmetic practice, please do this lifetime ladder. You don't need to keep starting over. I know some practices like to do just surgery, but look at all you're missing. Or some just like to do facials or injectables, but then you're still missing a bunch. So please keep in mind that you have patients with endless needs, and they'll take good care of you, and you take good care of them. So this decision-making process is the tough one, though, because it's so darn confusing. There's way too much information, and there's way too much choice. the internet has been the best thing that's ever happened to this industry and the worst. So nowadays, the patients can go online and they thought they knew what they wanted, but now there's all this new technology coming out, and maybe they don't need surgery after all. Maybe they can hold off for a decade or just a couple of years and do something non-surgically. If you even Google non-surgical, it is shocking what they come up with nowadays. And now you're thinking as a consumer, oh, maybe I don't need surgery after all. Or maybe I thought I needed that procedure. Maybe I need this one. So not only are they confused about what technology and procedure, now they have to choose who they're going to, work with for the service provider. So it's just really complicated and confusing. So just know that this isn't easy. So now you want to think like a patient and not like a doctor. So if you're a consumer and you want to look good and feel great, you're looking for that perfect service provider. But here are the questions that are going on in your head. Who are you? What do you do? Do I trust you? Trust is a big one. Do I like you? You can even be the best surgeon, but if nobody likes you, then it doesn't count. Will I get a good result? What do other patients say about you? Are you worth the fees you charge? And the big one, could I get this done cheaper somewhere else? And I'm not saying everyone's saying this, but a majority, this is exactly what they're asking themselves. And you want to address their biggest concerns. And there's always the four: regret, fear, pain, and procrastination. Procrastination is probably the big one. And the reason is nobody needs cosmetic rejuvenation. We all want it, but we don't need it. So it's not always a top priority. It becomes a top priority often when some, social event comes up, but otherwise procrastination is a big one in our industry. So here's the thing. Whoever addresses their questions and concerns best wins. So you just want to keep that in mind in all the content you create, in the consultations you do. Be sure you're answering all those questions, even though they're not being spoken out loud. So here's the challenge. Your market is everybody. The beauty of all the social media and internet and the Kardashians, they have made cosmetic rejuvenation mainstream, and that's brilliant. So the demand is high, but so is the supply because everyone jumped in, to get their piece of it. Now, so that means your market is everybody. I mean, look at that. There's technology for men, women, older, younger, ethnicity, skin colors, everything. But here's the rub. Everybody is everywhere. You cannot be where everybody is. You'll run out of time, money, effort, and mental health trying to chase everybody. So what do? This is when you start looking at this logically rather than emotionally. And I'll show you how to do that. You follow your successes. Doesn't that make sense? First, before you go off on a bunch of tangents and shiny objects, first, just look at your numbers and where does the money come from? If you have money coming in, follow that first and go get some more of it there, then start fresh and try to find new people somewhere else that you've never been. Okay? So for example, if you can, and I hope you can do this, you need a computer that can give you really good data so you can make really good business decisions. So hopefully you have a computer, a CRM, that can pull revenues by procedures. I love revenues by procedures because it's often in your office anecdotal. Oh yeah, we get all of our stuff from lipo. And it turns out when you really look at the numbers, it's not what you think it is. So for example, in this practice, 25% was cool sculpting. Isn't that crazy? Like who would have thought that? And 22% was injectables, 14% facelifts, 12% breast dog, 9% tummy tuck. And they were so surprised, but pleasantly surprised because I told the surgeon, at least you're not the only one making money there. You've got your injectables and your cool sculpting, your staff's handling that. So actually, I like that a lot. But he didn't know that. So you definitely want to know. There's another report I love, 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 and that is revenues by referral source. Now, this only works if you are indeed collecting the referral source. So the minute somebody calls, one of the questions should be, by the way, can you tell me how you heard about us? And you make a note of that. And then when they arrive in the practice and they fill out your patient intake forms, see if the answer is still the same. And then when you get to know them better, it's often a different answer. So for example, oftentimes they'll say, oh yeah, I found you on Google or the internet, it's Google. And then when they get to know you better, well, it turns out, well, actually, my girlfriend mentioned you, and then I went to Google, but then I checked you out on Instagram, and that's when I gave you a call. So you just don't know anymore, but you're trying to figure it out. Like, so you have to ask. But so this report showed that 46% were the internet, which made sense, but then the rest were relationships. It was word of mouth. It was current patients coming back for more. It was salon referrals, and social media was just 1% of it. But do you see how if you hadn't done that, all of your time, money, and effort goes into the internet when it turns out you should be putting some into your relationships to get some more relationships. They're cheaper, easier, and faster. So just saying. Now, you want to develop a criteria to rank preferred patients. When I say to a surgeon, I'll say, so, if the perfect patient were to walk through the door, who are they? What do they look like? Who are they? And they'll be like, oh, they're anybody. I mean, we all know you can't just be anybody anymore. You can't be the jack of all trades and the expert or the whatever, the none. You've got to choose, you've got to target more. So let's develop a criteria for the perfect patients. Let's say you don't know yet who they are, but you do want patients that, like, the patients who get the best results from you, who are easy to find and market to, good profit margin, good referral source, like they will tell their friends about you, limited hand holding, they're not a pain in the neck, for the next year while they're recuperating. They have the financial wherewithal. They're appreciative and you enjoy working with them. So and you can pick your own criteria, but let's just say you like this criteria. So here's what you do for the exercise. You just map that out on the top. You put all those criteria on the top, and now you're going to rate them 1 to 5, 1 being poor, 5 being great. Now, I'm going to choose certain patients. You choose your own. I'm just choosing this for example. We're going to take the young female, the one that wants the lip filler, okay? And we're going to rate her. So I gave her, for good result, I gave her 4. Sometimes that's a 3 because lips can be tough because they're like the rhinoplasty. They're right in front of their face and they're looking at in the mirror all day long. So if they didn't get a good result, that's going to be bad on you. But usually they get a pretty good result. Easy to find and market to? Not really. You can't figure out where they are. Like, are they on Instagram or do they move to TikTok or they're probably not on like Google search terms? Like you just don't know. They're not easy. Good profit margin. Yeah, it's a pretty good profit margin. Good referral source. Yes, they're a pretty good referral source if indeed they got a good result. Financial wherewithal, not so much. They're usually younger. They don't have a lot of money. I think I missed the limited hand holding. I don't think the hand holding's a problem. If you got it right, I think they're pretty happy for months and maybe not a year. And then they're appreciative if they got a good result. And you probably enjoy working with them. It's in and out. It's an easy one. No big deal. Nobody's, nothing life threatening. And then the lifetime value, that one I think is tough because usually they're these young girls who don't really need anything else for another decade or two. So I rated them at a 31. And that doesn't really tell us anything because we don't have anything to compare it to. So then I went to, well, let's go with the mid female, the one that wants liposuction. So she's like, let's say in her 30s, she gained some weight, that kind of thing. Well, I did her. And again, I'm just subjectively doing my own rating here. You do your own because it's however you feel is what's really true, kind of. And then look what happened. They also got a 31. So I thought, well, that didn't help. So I don't know, maybe let's try somebody else. So then I did the mature female, the mommy makeover. And what I like about the mommy makeover is she's usually in her 40s or older. She's had her kids and they're more grown now. They're not like babies. And she's hating her body because it's all coming to, it's not good. And she's usually, generally speaking, she has more financial wherewithal. She might be a homeowner. She might have a husband. She might have, what's called HELOC loan, like she's got some ATM, equity money. And she's got other friends that are just like her, because usually moms hang around together. So look at how I rated her. I gave her a 41 for a lot of those reasons I just mentioned. And so now comparatively, she's rocking it. So I'm thinking, wow, if you have to pick somebody, I'd go with the more mature female who wants a mommy makeover. But then I threw in, because everybody likes to go off into a new demographic, This is for the male hair transplant. I can't tell you how many practices have bought the $150,000 machine. So they're going to do hair, and they have no idea how to do it. They don't know any men. They've never catered to the men before. It's a whole other world. And they were not ranking very well. They got a 25 because good results, maybe, maybe not, because you hear all the horror stories where they spent 20 grand and the grafting didn't hold for very long. Easy to find, not really. I mean, you think it is like, oh, well, I'll just interview or advertise on ESPN. Do you know how expensive that is? Like, you have to figure out, is that really where your market is? Good profit margin, it's super if you can get it. You know, it's really good profit margin. And that's why everybody went there. But look at the rest of it. Good referral source? No. Men are terrible at referring. They typically don't want anybody to know anything. So no, they're not a good referral source. Limited handholding? It could be if all goes well. Financial wherewithal? Maybe. There's a lot more men who want it that cannot afford it. So you'd have to pick through that. And then appreciative, very, and enjoy working with them. Usually it's just like a one and done kind of thing. And then lifetime value? No, they don't want to hang around. They want to get in and out of there typically. So all I'm saying is, when you do something like this for your own interest and your own kind of patients, you'll just have a much better idea of how to make a better decision. Because here's the whole point and the takeaway. When you do it this way and you work with preferred patients and your preferred procedures, you're going to spend less, you're going to attract better patients, and you're going to get better results. What do you think about that?
The fastest way to success is to model other successful surgeons who have what you want, but you can only see their results, not the path they took to get there. So you continue to jump from one thing to another, hoping to find something that will work for you too. But it rarely does. So try this shortcut instead. It's guaranteed to move you forward. I compiled my intellectual property to grow cosmetic revenues, everything I've gleaned over the years, into one playbook of the most successful practices and what they do to win. Go to cosmeticpracticevault.com and let's grow your cosmetic revenues.